Good evening. For the first time in more than a decade, the Metropolitan Police has put an outright ban on a demonstration in London. The annual Al-Quds Day March is a pro-Palestine event that takes place on the last weekend of Ramadan and has taken place in the capital since 1979. But the Home Secretary has approved the Met's request to ban this year's march, citing possible serious public disorder. It's after its organisers appeared to show support for the Iranian regime. Kafo Pater reports.
The capital is no stranger to the Al-Quds March. Every year, once a year, for 40 years, it's been held here.
Free, free, Palestine!
Today, however, it's been banned at the request of the Metropolitan Police. Their reason? Public safety concerns.
At no stage, Metropolitan Police contact us saying that they are concerned. If they are concerned, then those concerns should have at least been put to us.
They never told you?
They never.
Another critique levelled at this march are its organisers' links and support for the current Iranian regime.
It comes at a time when the Iranian regime is attacking British forces and bases, as well as those of our allies.
Today in the Commons, the Home Secretary Shabana Mahmood laid out the national security risks Iran's leadership poses and how the ban on the march relates to that. Safety concerns which were echoed by London's mayor.
In my 10 years as mayor, the Met have never written to the Home Sec to ask for a protest or a march to be banned. The reason they've done so on this occasion is the concerns the police have because of the circumstances of what's happening in Iran.
You've expressed support for them. You've expressed praise for the Ayatollah, and this is something that people are concerned about.
That is not a security issue. People have praised all sorts of people that many disagree with.
Supportive and praiseful of a regime that many see as oppressive.
Well, and many people don't.
This is the first time since 2012 that any demonstration has been banned. As a city, we're no stranger to them. Where there's war, there's protest. Take Westminster in 2003, an estimate of over 1 million anti-Iraq war protesters. The difference this time is retaliation from the IRGC, Iran's military units.
They'd be taking into account certainly the heightened security threats that are posed. The one thing that Brits don't realize is that the IRGC has been saying for decades, not only death to America, death to Israel, death to England. So everyone is actually a target now for the IRGC.
The organisers say they're exploring various avenues to challenge this ban, but as it stands, neither the government or the police seem to be budging.
Kath, the organisers aren't completely backing down, are they?
They're not. They say they're going to be organising a stationary event, meaning that the demonstration will be at a fixed location. Legally, the police cannot stop this. That being said, Yasmin, the Home Secretary, Shabana Mahmood, she's been very clear about her warnings. She has said that anyone breaching these conditions, anyone spreading hatred, anyone sowing division will be arrested.
OK, Kath, thank you. A woman with a spinal injury living in a Hoxton tower block has told us she thought she was going to die when the building caught fire. She's one of dozens of residents who say the block is a dangerous place to live, with water flooding through light fixtures and damp affecting homes. Despite posting evidence of their experiences online, those who live there say the council is not doing enough about it. Rags Martel reports.
This was the main leak on Sunday.
Water pouring from the ceiling through an electric light.
There's been burst pipes, leaks, faults.
Let's go in. We're at Fellows Court in Hoxton, a Hackney Council block where residents say damp, mould and leaks have become a way of life.
Residents are afraid now to leave their property for even a day because they don't know if the radiator's going to burst. They don't know when the next occurrence is going to happen. This has gone on for over 3 years.
Showing us round, Armed Forces veteran David Coleman.
The contractor came in and said, not leaking anymore, with a smiley face. You know what I mean? We live here. You know what I mean? The contractors are not even taking it serious.
On the 7th floor, single mum Sood lives here with her 2 children.
When you walk in, you can just get the smell of the mould.
But it was during a fire 2 weeks ago that she feared for her life, unable to get down the stairs because of a spinal injury.
If anything happened, it would have happened to me and my kids, not just me. And I believe we left behind from Hackney Council.
Come in.
Yeah, come in, please.
And then there's more leaking problems. So what's that happened to the floor?
It's for leaking for water.
Because of the leaking water?
Yeah.
2 children.
But you all sleep in one bedroom?
1 bedroom.
Rahel Yerger lives in a one-bed flat with her 14-year-old disabled son and daughter, who's 12, but their home is repeatedly flooded.
At least 1 month, 2 months, every time a leak, I call repair, they come in to fix, but it's coming again.
For residents here, the leaks and the mould have become far too common, and it's a symptom, they say, of how the entire building has been neglected. Hackney Council say they've responded to the most recent leak, adding, "We remain on site to carry out any further repairs needed and are committed to finding a long-term solution to resolve the issues."
So we've got a letter from Hackney Council today.
And while we were filming,
they're fully aware that you were coming down today.
Residents got letters promising a fix to the leaks. But people here told us this was more a show for our cameras rather than a lasting repair for problems they've had here for years. Rags Martel, ITV News, Hoxton.
A man's been charged with murder after a fatal stabbing in Battersea. Police were called just after 6 p.m. on the 2nd of March after a man now named as Ty Fowlkes was stabbed on Thessaly Road. He was pronounced dead later in hospital. 46-year-old Asher Edwards appeared at Wimbledon Magistrates Court this morning, charged with murder. And Irish rapper Liam O'Hanna, known as Mokara in the trio Kneecap, will not face a terror trial. He had been accused of displaying a flag in support of proscribed terror group Hezbollah at a gig in Kentish Town. High Court judges rejected a CPS appeal against the decision to throw out the original case. Next, nearly 1 million phones are snatched from unsuspecting victims in the capital every year, and it's a seemingly global reputational stain authorities here are desperately trying to get rid of. Today, the Met Police boss and the mayor joined other international police forces to put pressure on phone companies to deter the thieves. But for those who've been targeted, it's too little, too late. Here's Helen Keenan.
A phone is stolen every 7.5 minutes in London. Snatch and grabs feeding into organised crime.
There's lots of unarmed assets driving around trying to help over.
And the Met now want mobile tech companies to act by introducing measures including a kill switch to turn stolen smartphones into useless bricks.
What looks like a low-level snatch or pickpocketing is in fact the entry point to a transnational organised crime business model worth hundreds of millions of dollars. If a stolen phone were to become an unusual brick, there would be no criminal market. Until this device is worthless, the market will remain attractive to organised crime.
Hotspot areas include Croydon, Shoreditch, the West End and Camden. That is where Lindsay was targeted.
And you were assaulted?
Yes, the first time 2 guys in balaclavas in King's Cross on bikes, and then the second time I was just commuting home from work. The first time it happened, the police were like, oh, well, you know, it just happens, it's gone. They were like, we're inundated with this problem, there's nothing we can do. That definitely wasn't taken seriously. So there might be all of these, you know, thousands are reported every year, but actually how many tens of thousands aren't reported because of bad police?
There were 10,000 fewer phone thefts in the capital this past year, with police using sophisticated technology like drones, e-bikes and facial recognition to catch criminals. But at London's first International Mobile Phone Crime Conference, the head of the Met and the Mayor set a deadline for mobile phone companies to act by June, or they will contact the government about legislation.
The expensive phone that you own can be reactivated and sold nearly as good as new, because the security isn't good enough. This can be solved by the tech companies. We've been talking to them for 2.5 years and they need to step up more. But whether they step up or not, we will be relentlessly driving it down as far as we possibly can do.
Are you now passing the buck to government and industry?
No, it's sharing the responsibility.
But for the victims already let down, they just want both police and manufacturers to take the crime seriously. Helen Keenan, ITV News.
Now, living on a houseboat is one way to guarantee an ever-changing view of the city, but one dweller has found that the transient lifestyle has made it impossible to secure a GP. Public health worker Camille Sang has told us that despite a permanent address not being required to sign up with a surgery, she has been removed from the patient list. Antoine Allen went to meet her.
You can move whenever you want to. You can be around people when you want to, or not, if you'd prefer. And you get all these lovely sights and being around nature a lot more.
But there is one challenge that comes with life on the water. Camille has struggled to register with a GP near her workplace in Collingdale.
Even though national guidance says that you don't have to have proof of address to register, they still use it as an excuse.
For years, Camille has lived on London's canal network, moving as freely as the water. She says she had registered with a GP surgery close to her work, but in September 2024, she was removed from the patient list, receiving this letter advising her to register with a local GP.
But the problem is I don't have a catchment area.
The decision has left Camille without a GP, despite working and paying regular national insurance contributions. Camille says she spent months trying to change the GP's decision. She raised the issue with her local NHS Care Board and later took her complaint to the Parliamentary Health and Service Ombudsman, but she remains unregistered with a GP. Camille believes many other people may be denied access to GPs as well.
People who don't have proof of address or no fixed abode are often quite vulnerable in society, not necessarily myself included, but there are other people that are going to be worse off.
NHS guidance says people do not need proof of address to register with a GP, but campaigners say people living on boats and others without permanent addresses can still run into difficulties.
There needs to be some kind of consequences for GPs denying somebody, healthcare.
In a statement, NHS North Central Primary Care Integrated Care Board told ITV News, "We understand how important it is to be able to access health and care services. We sincerely apologise for the significant delay Ms Sang has experienced in resolving this and understand how worrying and frustrating this must have been." The NHS Care Board say they are urgently working with her former GP to find a solution. For now, neither Camille nor her fight to get a GP is going anywhere. She hopes to not have to face another winter on the water without the healthcare she's entitled to. Antoine Allen, ITV News.
Still to come on the programme, taking 5 decades of stories on the road. Nigel Havers will be here to talk about his new tour and...
Sally, stop doom scrolling, start bloom scrolling.
Peter, what a catchphrase! And I might just do that.
Find out why Sally's been told to look up early this spring. But first, audience numbers in the West End have boomed in recent years, so it may come as a surprise to hear that for some theatres, their books don't reflect the bookings. The appetite for shows of all kinds in the capital may not have waned, but the cost of putting them on is growing quicker than the cost of tickets. So how do we save London's rich history on the boards? Daisy Purcell went to find out.
Well, this is our main space, the Holloway Theatre.
Bush Theatre is always busy, offering new writers a space to stage their work and audiences a chance to discover new stories.
Our audiences have increased steadily over the last 3 years. For shows like the one behind us, Sweetmeats, it's selling wonderfully. I think it will sell out the last few weeks of its run.
But despite the appetite for productions like Sweetmeats, the theatre says financial pressures are waiting in the wings.
We've had to tighten our belts a lot. It's the cost of overheads and increased production costs, so materials and things like that have doubled in price in some instances.
And according to a new report by the Society of London Theatre, it's a problem that spreads from small venues like this one right across the West End.
So 91% of respondents to the report are seeing rising costs. They're also having to massively maintain beautiful buildings, and the cost of doing business such as touring is also increasing. So those are all making a really fragile picture for our members, with many of them reporting a deficit going forward.
The report found that most West End tickets sell for £56 or less, but theatres say they're facing a balancing act between meeting costs and keeping tickets affordable.
It's gone very expensive, so tend to sort of be a bit more choosy what we go and see and when we go and see it.
Probably not get quite as good seats if it was a bit more expensive, but it wouldn't stop us coming.
We think it's a reasonable price at the moment, and we'll keep an eye on it, and as long as it carries on being reasonable, we'll carry on coming.
Theatres say more support from government could help protect prices. They're calling for reform of business rates and to extend tax relief to touring shows.
So if you don't get what you want, how bad is it?
If money gets tighter, the wide variety of shows that we enjoy in the UK will get smaller.
The government says it's committed to supporting theatres and has provided investment through its Arts Council and theatre tax relief. And back at Bush Theatre, as the birthplace of major TV hits like Baby Reindeer and Fleabag, they also want the commercial sector to play its part.
They will reap the benefits from it in 5, 10, 15 years' time. If we all start to disappear, there's not going to be that level of talent at that place in the future.
The message is clear from London theatres today. Get behind them now to keep the curtain up for years to come. Daisy Bussell, ITV News.
Well, someone who is no stranger to the theatre and is touring right now in his first ever solo show is Nigel Havers. From roles in iconic films like Chariots of Fire, beloved TV dramas like Upstairs, Downstairs and stage work for the National Theatre, 5 decades in the business has left him with a lot of stories to tell.
I raced beside my friend here. We challenged in the name of Repton, Eton and Keith. I didn't know you ran, nor are you. Some chap told me about this shindig over breakfast. I thought I'd come and push you along a bit, what? Delighted. Splendid. Good luck.
And I am delighted to say that Nigel is here in the studio.
Oh, very
Hi,
kind of
Nigel.
you. Does 5 decades mean 50 years?
Well, I think so. Is it 50?
It's 50 years, yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Can you believe it?
I wish Yes, I can believe it. I lived through those years.
Yeah. You've earned them. We'll talk about Chariots of Fire in just a moment, because of course it's probably the thing that people keep wanting to talk to you about. But just to say that we can't say the name of your stage show on Tea Time TV. It roughly translates as talking rubbish, and I'll leave people to imagine what that might be.
Sure.
Which isn't true. You're not talking rubbish at all, because you're talking about all the wonderful things that you've done.
Yes, but it's just the way I do it.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah. I mean, I have no script, you see, so I just wander on and just whatever comes to mind.
So it's different each time, is it?
It has to be, because there's no script, but it is huge fun, because before, I've always been with a group of people, a play, and there's a fourth wall. I can't step out of that. No. But now I'm on my own, and there's no fourth wall, and I can do what I like. And I do a bit of magic.
Do you? Do you some magic tricks?
Yeah, I do, because I was taught. I think you had Paul Zerdin on recently on the show.
Yes.
And we share a dressing room when we do the panto. Ah. And he's a magician, and he teaches me all these fantastic tricks. So I do a few tricks, and I do, show a few clips, and make a martini. I show the audience how to make the perfect martini.
Is that your party trick?
It is my party trick.
Okay. You say that there will be no running in slow motion.
No.
What a shame.
I know, it is a shame. People always ask me, was it difficult to learn to run in slow motion? I say, it was very difficult, but I mastered it. But
you did have to train very hard for that, didn't you?
We trained for 4.5 months with an Olympic coach, because there were no doubles doing our start. And yes, I had a terrible accident towards the end of the training, because I was showing off to Ben Cross how good my hurdling was, and I clipped a hurdle.
Oh, no.
And stuck my hand out. I dislocated my shoulder, and I broke my wrist.
Oh, no.
But I couldn't tell anyone, because, I thought if I told them, I might not be in the film. So it mended sort of on its own, which is why it mended a bit like that.
But we're not seeing we need to see the pictures of Nigel's wrist.
It goes off.
Here we go. Oh, my goodness. So that's the legacy of Chariots of Fire. Okay.
But I'm glad I didn't tell anybody, because
well, everyone knows now. Oh my goodness! Is it true that you actually turned that role down?
I did. I was so, I don't know, mad really. I wanted to play Harold Abrams, and David Putnam, producer, said, "No, you won't be doing that." So I said, "In which case, I don't want to do the film. I'll walk away." And David rang me about a week later and said, "Have you grown up yet?" And I said, "I think I have." He said, "Okay." twice. You know.
And I bet you're glad that you changed your mind. You've also got some really interesting stories from before when you were active, because you're from this really big legal family.
Yes.
And your granddad was the judge that sentenced Ruth Ellis,
He was.
the last woman to be hanged in the UK.
And I played him in the TV show.
And how extraordinary is that? And I think we're just seeing the trailer here, but so you played your own granddad.
I did.
Amazing.
It was. When they rang up and said, would I do it, I said, I have one reservation. I think I might be a bit young. And they said, actually, you're 15 years older than me.
Oh, oops.
That's right. But no, and every word I say in the film was Grandpa's words.
Wow. How
Which was
extraordinary.
amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he was very against her being hanged, and wrote to the Home Secretary, and the Home Secretary ignored it. But he was so upset that her son, he paid for his education for years. You know.
OK. You have incredibly amazing stories to tell, and it's going to be amazing to come and see your stage show. We've got one of your fans right here, actually.
Oh, really?
In the form of Sally.
Hello, Sally.
Well,
Weather person Sally.
It was a dream of mine to see you and Julian Clary in the Palladium, and this year that dream came true.
Oh, heavens.
My goodness, you're so funny. And you must be exhausted by the time you come off there, Nigel.
I don't know. Hello. Julian is quite something.
Oh, yes.
The year before, I was the poster boy for assisted dying.
Oh. One can only imagine what that looks like. Well, listen, thank you so much, Nigel. I've got a lovely piece for you. You'll love this. This is about a vicar in central London who is letting his Magnolia go global via TikTok. It's so stunning, and it's really setting the church alight. So I went to meet him and find out, can you actually eat it? Here we go.
It's Magnolia Watch 2026, and it's time to stop doom scrolling and start bloom scrolling. The magnolias are looking absolutely wonderful. Just look at that. It's got that gingery, almost peppery taste. It's rather lovely.
Be it the Magnolia or the man, social media is loving it.
It's Magnolia Watch 2026.
Peter is the priest in charge at St Mary Le Strand, and he's been tracking the magnolia blossom outside his church in the heart of London.
Let's talk about your catchphrase.
Yeah.
Stop doom scrolling, start bloom scrolling. I mean, it's just golden. Where did it come from?
I have to admit, it's not original. I think I saw it somewhere last year when I was in the middle of all the magnolia chaos, and I thought that's such a lovely line. I'm going to borrow that, you know. But we're going to be in full bloom very soon.
He started last year and it took off, although the blossom was 3 weeks later. Another jaw-dropper is this.
It's actually really nice.
You can eat magnolia petals?
I know, who knew?
Who knew?
So last year had so many comments saying, do you know, you can eat them, you can eat them. So I had to try it.
Well, that was too much for my curiosity.
One for you, one for me.
Okay, we picked these up off the floor. Yeah. Right, should we give it a go?
Go for it? Okay,
I've never eaten this one. Oh my goodness, the ginger. You were right. I'm not saying you were lying, but you were right.
No, thank you.
They hope the attention will also help the church, which needs major restoration. Called the Jewel in the Strand, it has a 300-year-old ceiling covered in, guess what, flowers.
If you're attracted to flowers, if you love flowers, come and see our amazing ceiling and sponsor a flower to help support the Jewel in the Strand project.
But mainly, Magnolia Watch is about joy and hope.
The church and the message of the gospel is there is beauty in the world, and the things that are broken are being made beautiful again.
The blossom has even featured in a wedding. The good news is they've only just come out, so there's still plenty of time to take a look.
It's the simple things in life that bring you joy.
Sally Williams, ITV News at St Mary Le Strand.
Oh, they're gorgeous. Did they really taste okay, or were you just pretending for the camera?
As if I would pretend, Jasmine. They did.
Did they?
They were genuinely gingery. It hit the back of my throat. And I'm still here.
Yeah, you're okay.
I haven't even Googled if they're okay, but I'm still here.
Why are they so early this year?
Well, it's been above average temperatures, and even for March, we're still above average. So it's obviously brought them out a little bit earlier. That would be my intellectual gardening take on it. As for the weather for the next few days, well, it's a little bit iffy, and it's going to be colder from Friday. Let's take a look.
Come rain or shine, Octopus Energy sponsors ITV London weekday weather.
Hello again. I hope you had a lovely day. I love this photo. Such great contrast, isn't it? I've got another one of contrast for you. You can see the water on the road from last night and then that lovely fresh-looking sky. Tomorrow, we've got quite a windy day. There's a fair bit of dry weather around, but it is turning wetter later on in the day. And then as we go into Friday, it's going to feel quite a bit colder, particularly in the wind. And we've got a bit of a mixed weekend. I just want to show you the air mass chart because you can see quite clearly as we head into Friday, we get these blues joining us. And with the wind as well, there'll be a bit of a wind chill. And for Saturday morning, we might even get a bit of frost. So yes, turning a little bit on the cold side. As for tonight, lots of clear skies outside. The winds will ease initially and then they'll pick up again by the end of the night. And with clearer skies, the temperature's dropping down a bit further tonight. So we're further into those single figures. So feeling a bit fresher as tomorrow starts. The best of any brightness likely to be first thing. We've got a pretty cloudy day. You can see though, for the most part, it starts off dry and a bit of a question mark as to how early this drizzle comes in as we go through the day, but it does arrive in the afternoon from the west. A lot of cloud with us, as I said. Highs of 11 to 13, so just a touch above average, but with the wind, it's probably not going to feel particularly nice, and they'll be even stronger, those winds at the coast. For the evening, we've got it turning gradually damper, and then the bulk of this rain coming through overnight with some quite squally winds as it does so, and then a real mix for Friday. Some cloud, the odd shower, the odd sunny spell, and for Saturday, it does look up a little bit. That's probably the better day of the weekend, and of course, chillier on Friday. Cheerio.
Octopus Energy sponsors ITV London weekday weather.
And that's it from us. The evening news is next with Mary, but from all of us at the London team, goodbye.